The Monterey Bay Sanctuary Scenic Trail, or MBSST, is the project name for a concept that for over a decade has been referred to as the rail trail. When most people think of the rail trail, they envision a multi-use bicycle and pedestrian path running in the rail corridor and using the existing bridges and trestles. This idea is known as a rail-to-trail conversion. However, the Regional Transportation Commission's proposed design concept for the rail trail is to divide the corridor with a fence and to keep a single-track railroad operational. This requires that most of the existing bridges and trestles, 23 in total, will have to be duplicated for the bicycle and pedestrian trail. Current estimates are that this alone will add upwards of $60 million to the project, a huge sum considering that the entire corridor cost only $14.2 million to purchase. The argument for keeping the railroad is that if it were used for passenger service, it could provide needed relief to freeway congestion and offer viable transportation alternatives. But can it, and at what cost? The RTC has recently released a passenger rail feasibility study that attempts to make this case. The problem is that the numbers are questionable and the assumptions flawed. The bottom line is that developing passenger rail service will take 20 years and is likely to cost upwards of $600 million. Even then, it may have little or no impact on freeway congestion. Simply put, it doesn't solve our biggest transportation problems. Worse, it will require a subsidy of $12 million a year to operate. The reality is that the rail with trail concept impacts the viability of the bike and pedestrian path by restricting the width and requiring detours in Capitola and Aptos, as well as other places where it would be impossible to build parallel bridges. Passenger rail service is a noble idea, but given the physical limitations of our rail corridor, the astronomical costs, and the negative impact that it will have on building the rail trail, it's a bad idea. The alternative is to rail bank the Santa Cruz branch line. Rail banking protects the easements and legal right-of-way for the future, but allows the use of the existing infrastructure now. Doing so would jumpstart the rail trail. In all likelihood, a trail without rail would serve more people and have a greater economic benefit to the community than any passenger rail scenario the RTC has studied. It would save hundreds of millions of dollars and would quickly become the kind of attraction that would help to brand our county as a center for sustainability. The potential benefits are enormous. By developing a general-purpose bicycle and pedestrian highway as a core feature of the Monterey Bay Sanctuary Scenic Trail, our community is building for the future. There is a revolution taking place in bicycle and electric vehicle design. Human-electric hybrids are changing the possibilities for personal mobility and transportation options. Let's make sure that the roadway we build will serve the future needs of commuters and recreational bicyclists by accommodating these new vehicles and provide the space necessary for the safety of pedestrians. We should not limit ourselves to 19th century railroad technology when viable transportation alternatives are available today. Smart electric vehicles and bus rapid transit operating in the freeway corridor on existing roadways are realistic alternatives. It is time for the RTC to get serious about studying new transit options and solutions. Sometimes simpler is better. Let's spend our money wisely and build a new transportation infrastructure that can be fully operational in a time frame of years rather than decades. Let's redirect the hundreds of millions that would otherwise be wasted on the train towards solutions that will move the needle in terms of greenhouse gas reductions and transportation connectivity. Let's achieve the highest and best use of this multimodal transportation corridor. Tell the RTC that you won't be railroaded. Let's build a spacious, multimodal path now that serves the needs of commuters and recreational bicyclists while accounting for the safety of pedestrians, and at a fraction of the cost of passenger rail. Let's build the rail trail.